Nellie Bly, bring the broom along. We'll sweep the kitchen clean, my dear, and have a little song. Poke the wood, my lady love, make the fire burn. And while I take the banjo down, just give the mush a turn. Hey, Nellie, ho, Nellie, listen, love to me.
10 years, 355 classes, taught by 149 local teachers with 9,588 interested students. The Institute for Continuing Learning at Young Harris College is celebrating an anniversary. In 1991, 77 members signed up for this new program. During the present quarter, our numbers have grown to almost 500. My name is Betty Sellers, and I am one of those original members. I will be your host as we take a look at the past, the present, and the future of the Institute for Continuing Learning. The Institute for Continuing Learning is a concept idea initiated before 1990 by Mrs. Frances Evans and brought to reality in 1991 with the help of Dr. John Kay, who was appointed as liaison between the college and the senior group by the president of the college. Dr. Kay continues to hold this post.
These two people really started the Institute at Young Harris College. Dr. John Kay is a longtime faculty member of the college. Frances Evans is the founding president of the Institute and currently leads a class there. Ladies first, I suppose. Frances Evans, how did your Institute get started here at the college?
I'm a devoted believer and follower of Elder Hostel. I've attended over 30. And I felt the need for something on this campus. I wanted a different cultural outfit. And I knew that we had so many retirees moving into this area that something surely could happen on the campus that would interest them. The crucial point came when, after talking with Dr. John Kay, who is a friend of mine, and he knew of my interest in the Elder Hostel program, called me one day and said, well, I have some material I think you'd be interested in. That's when it all started.
Dr. Kay, Ms. Evans says that you had some material that would be especially helpful to us. Tell us a little about that material and what it led to.
This material came from a workshop that was sponsored by the Elder Hostel Institute Network in Orlando, Florida, in March of 1990. I had the privilege of being a participant there. I went because I had been informed in advance that here we could learn about ways in which you can initiate such lifelong learning institutes on local campuses. And I knew that we had a need in this area because of the number of retired people who had moved in. So there I was able to gain a lot of information, including, of course, volumes of material that would aid us in tailor-making for our campus the sort of institute that would be suited to our particular needs. These were the materials that I passed on to Frances Evans, and the two of us then decided that we would move from there and bring other people into the organizational process.
What kind of advantages would you think there exists for having an institute on this campus?
We have a mutual situation here. For the college, of course, it enables us to meet one of the purposes of the mission of the college, which is to be of service educationally to persons who live in this area. Here we are able to make available on our campus classes that are of an enrichment sort that people can choose and attend. The people who come become aware of what the college is doing and are able to respond to other activities on campus and to offer themselves on a voluntary basis to help out with some of our programs. It's a mutually beneficial thing.
Francis Evans is founder and last year's president. Now, Dr. K mentions the mission of the college, to be of service. What has been your relationship with your host college?
Well, it couldn't have been better. I think at times they were probably tired of me asking for something to be on the campus for the retirees of the area. But it's been a very friendly relationship, and one we've been able to work together in many ways.
An important element in the success of the Institute for Continuing Learning is the work done by the Curriculum Committee. On this group falls the major responsibility for choosing a broadly varied selection of interesting courses and for procuring qualified teacher instructors for each course. Some of the history of the Institute will be given to us by some of the 5 individuals who have served as chairpersons of the Curriculum Committee during the 10 years that we are celebrating.
What were we going to do and how are we going to do this? So anyway, we studied the elder hostels programs and other programs that we had heard of, and decided finally that we should give a questionnaire to the association that was being formed. And there were quite a few people in the community that were interested in attending. So we had 28 questions, not questions, but they were subjects on this questionnaire. And we asked them to fill them out, the things that they were interested in, and turn them back in, tell us if they would be interested themselves in a committee teaching it. We didn't know whether it should be teachers or whether they should be seminars, what we should call everything. We were trying to decide all these things. So anyway, out of the 28 questions, we finally got down to 8. And of course, we had to find teachers for these things. Well, the teachers here at Young Harris were very helpful. We found people in the community that were interested and would help us. And also the people in the association. So anyway, we came up with 28. And we set a date for April 1991. And when we had the meeting, we had 100 people register. Hallelujah, we had got it done.
At that time, we tried to have 8 classes for 8 weeks going through the year. And we tried to bring in teachers who taught literature, history, politics, whatever, so that we had a pretty well-balanced curriculum. Our committee was exceptional, and we had very good response from both the teachers at Young Harris College, people in the community, and the ICL members. I had attended a conference at Auburn University and found many wonderful new ideas for our committee. One of them being that we should have name tags for everyone. At that time, they were done by hand, and each person had a name, and we got to know each other better.
The other thing that was added at that time was a map of the Young Harris College campus so we could find the buildings and find the proper place to park our cars. That is still in use at this time. I think probably the Curriculum Committee is the lifeblood of this organization, for if we did not have good courses, we would not have members.
I came at a time of exceptional growth for ICL, and our goal was to add more classes, more instructors, and also to make the people who were coming into the group feel comfortable and be a part of the group. One of the things that we did to do this was to put down written guidelines for the people who acted as class coordinators. This was an easy job for new people to come into and become a part of the group. So we tried to use the class coordinators as a way of getting people to become a part of the group. We also found that we were having a drop in attendance during the summer because of vacations and one thing and another. So we started what became known for a while as ICL Summer Light. This was a series of seminars that we did during the summer. Rather than have people come for a 6-week class and interrupt their vacation and so forth, we did seminars for 2 or 3 days scattered throughout the summer. And this not only let people participate during the summer, but it also let us use the talents of the faculty at Young Harris College when they had a little bit more time and could work with us. This became a staple of the curriculum through all of the terms and was very popular, and I think one of the things that we were most pleased with.
One of the innovations that started during my tenure was the lunch bunch. On Friday afternoons, we had a speaker, people brought their lunches. Worked fine for a while, but everything can't be perfect and continue, and that has been discontinued. But it was fun while it lasted. Something else was some of the seminars that we had. During my tenure, we had the first free program. We had the first seminar that was open to the public. And one seminar that I particularly remember that was fun was when we had a speaker from Alabama that came and talked about hummingbirds. And I think that one has had lasting effect on this whole community. The people that were there, for one thing, learned to keep their hummingbird feeders up all year long.
In order to determine the highlights of the years 1998 through 2000, I took a very unscientific poll of a few of our ICL members. And there was general agreement among the members that the greatest highlight probably was the enlistment of Governor Zellmiller to present a summer term course. Later, he went on and presented a seminar for us. The other highlight that was mentioned by these people was that of the series of seminars. We started with the Here's to Your Health, where we had 5 physicians, and we had a second series, Person of the Century, that was very, very successful, and so we decided to go on and have another series. And the last one was Mountain Life in Northeast Georgia and Western North Carolina.
It is amazing what a positive influence the program of the Institute for Continuing Learning has had on the members of the North Georgia and Western North Carolina community. Some of our members can express this very well in their own words.
How long you been a member?
6 or 7 years, I'd say.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Well, how has ICL impacted your retirement years up here in the North Georgia mountains?
Well, actually, I was a member of ICL for 4 or 5 years before retiring, so I mixed it in with partial work, and very happily, and it actually helped a good deal in a going from working to retirement.
Mm-hmm.
And since I've been retired the last 2 years, I've just enjoyed a number of different courses. A language course, which I just am coming out of that classroom, and great books courses and history of China, a number of different courses.
Good.
And for me and for my wife, it really gives a framework as far as our week is concerned. We like those 8 weeks of the courses. When there aren't courses, we just sort of sit around and say, well, what are we going to do?
That's good. How long have you been a member of ICL?
Almost from day one. It was formed in the fall of 1990, and the first classes were 91, and I think I took part in some of those first classes.
Well, how has ICL impacted your retirement years up here in the North Georgia Mountains?
Both two ways at least, friendship-wise and keeping these juices up here flowing. I think the courses have kept me mentally active, and certainly the number of friends that we have here. We lived in a different community and we're friendly with 2 or 3 couples, and here there's probably 200 or 300 people I know on a first-name basis.
And Elizabeth, what has ICL meant to you in your retirement years up here in the North Georgia Mountains?
A lot. It's provided an outlet for my curiosity. I have learned. I have enjoyed working tremendously with the people involved. It has been interesting, enlightening. Call me a perennial student, but I have gotten tremendous advantages and learning experiences from the courses that were offered. I've also enjoyed working, as I said, with the people and with the organization.
Jennifer, how long have you been a member of ICL?
I've been a member since ICL began.
And what has ICL meant to you?
Well, Norm, I think what has been important to me is that ICL has given me the opportunity to teach and to meet a lot of wonderful people through my teaching. And I used to teach elementary school, but I found that I love to teach adults and I love to teach the subjects that are of interest to me. So it's been a great opportunity.
Good, great. Lita, how long have you been a member of ICL?
About 8 years.
8 years, huh?
Yes.
Well, what has ICL meant to you in your retirement years up here in the North Georgia Mountains?
Well, it's opened so many doors for an opportunity to meet people and just enjoy a lot of fellowship and fun.
Yeah.
And I've really enjoyed it and appreciate the opportunity to learn new things.
Yeah.
So it's just been great.
Good. How many years have you been a member of ICL?
Well, I've been a member for 9 years, as well as my wife Ann have been members 9 years.
Yeah. And what has ICL meant to you in your retirement years up here in the North Georgia Mountains?
Well, since I retired from the academic world, it was rather important for me to continue the learning process. So not only was I had an opportunity to continue learning, as well as my wife Ann, I had an opportunity to continue teaching. So that's probably been one of the most important things for me, is that I was able to continue teaching as part of the ICL organization.
How long have you been a member of ICL?
4 or 5 years.
And what has ICL meant to you in your retirement years up here in the North Georgia Mountains?
Well, it's quite a few things it's done for me. I've met a lot of wonderful people, a lot of nice people that have the same interests I do. I tend to be a recluse, and so it's helped me to stay out of my house, you know, and be active and keep my brain in gear. And I've learned a lot with the classes. I enjoy them a whole lot. I'd go to school the rest of my life if I could, you know, get 5 or 6 more degrees. But this is a little easier. You don't have tests. And I get to see the area, learn about the area, go places. I've even, you know, gotten to serve on the newsletter and get to exercise some of my small talents, and feel like I'm a big part of ICL.
Faye, how long have you been a member of ICL?
We have been members of ICL for about 5 years.
Yeah. And what has ICL meant to you in those years?
We have thoroughly enjoyed the friends that we have made, the social activities we've been participating in. We have been on 2 trips to Europe. It has been a learning experience, expanding our, as I say, our friends, our learning. Oh, it has been a wonderful experience.
Of vital interest to the Institute for Continuing Learning is our ongoing relationship with host Young Harris College, the value of the program to the larger community, is of great importance to both the ICL and to the college. A 1993 interview with the college president, Dr. Thomas Yao, emphasizes the enhancement of the mission of the college, and it is re-emphasized by a more recent interview with Dr. Yao.
Feel about having 300 elder citizens sharing your quiet rural campus?
Well, I feel great about it, and thank you for calling us quiet. Perhaps the people that live next door would sometimes disagree. I think it's an asset in every sense of the word. The older students, retired community brings a different perspective, a different cultural background in many cases, certainly a more experienced background to life here, and I believe enrich the experience of the 18 and 19-year-olds that are beginning their lives, as they can learn from people who are certainly well into their lives.
Do they pose any problems here as far as relating to your younger people?
Haven't been a disciplinary problem yet, but you never can tell. No, I think it's been really a real asset for us, and we're glad that these students are here and look forward to the continuation and actual growth of the Institute for Continuing Learning.
How does your professional college faculty relate to the Institute?
I'm not sure that I can answer that as well as a faculty member. I know that there are some that have had ICL people in their class, and they say that you ask a lot of very hard questions. But I think in general it's been a very positive kind of thing, and I think with most teachers, those persons who can add to the quality of the class experience are always seen as assets.
How do you compare these Institute members with a cross-section of average Georgia elder citizens here in the hills of North Georgia?
Well, I've only lived here 2 years, so the perspective may be more limited than someone who had been here longer. I think in general, however, if I might generalize, that the ICL members have lived outside the region, perhaps in many cases having lived all around the world. They have been involved in multiple kinds of business interests and concerns. I mean, the number of careers and different parts of careers that are represented in ICL is much more expansive than what would be available to the average citizen in North Georgia. So I think there's a real enrichment there.
We congratulate the Institute for Continuing Learning at Young Harris College on this observance of a 10th anniversary. What a tremendous contribution ICL has made to our community and to the college, and we're very proud of the role that Young Harris College has played in this whole adventure of ICL. I believe that congratulations are in order because, one, you have really enriched the life of a lot of people who have moved from a lot of places into the Enchanted Valley and have done a lot to make people more at home, have helped people meet other persons, as well as to really grow intellectually. So I think there's a real social dimension that's important, as well as the intellectual dimension that's important. ICL, from the very beginning, has been an important part of Young Harris College's service to the community, as it is a real fulfillment of the mission of the institution to continue to serve the educational needs of our local area. And I think we do that obviously through the regular college program, but also in a very real way through our involvement with ICL. We're also the beneficiary in many ways of the contributions of the ICL members. I think the give and take of ICL members with students on campus has been important, and it's something that as we look to the next 10 years, we need to try to amplify and improve. We're grateful for the scholarship that was established, the Francis Evans Scholarship, which goes to local students to help them begin their collegiate experience at a college noted for both academic excellence and the affirmation of Christian values. We're grateful for the support given to our really better students who are members of Phi Theta Kappa through ICL. The relationship between the Institute for Continuing Learning at Young Harris College and Young Harris College has been one that has benefited this college and has enabled us to continue our service to our community. We're proud of what you've accomplished and congratulate you.
As we celebrate the 10th anniversary of the Institute for Continuing Learning, We look forward to the future with great optimism. Bob Davis, our current president, will share with us some of his visions for the next decade.
As we can see, the Institute of Continuing Learning has come a long way in the last 10 years. I believe that the future will bring us multiple opportunities to expand as we learn together. In this continually changing scientific and technical world, those of us that have retired from the workaday world sometimes lose contact with the events that shape our future. I believe that ICL has an opportunity to help keep us updated on what is changing. In addition to updating our learning experiences, perhaps there's a whole new area of skill or talent that we recognize we have but have never had the opportunity to explore. To paraphrase a popular saying, the brain is a terrible thing to waste. As we have retired from our workaday world, which constantly challenges our physical and mental capacities, we have a need to keep our minds in shape as well as our bodies. Just as the body needs to be exercised, so does the mind. The Institute of Continuing Learning is and must continue to be a study in progress.
The past we have experienced, the present we are enjoying, and the future holds great promise. The Institute for Continuing Learning at Young Harris College plans to provide cultural enrichment and intellectual stimulation for the next decade for the local communities of northern Georgia and western North Carolina.
Nellie Bly, bring the broom along. We'll sweep the kitchen clean, my dear, and have a little song. Poke the wood, my lady love, make the fire burn. And while I take the banjo down, just give the mush a turn. Hey, Nellie, ho, Nellie, listen, love, to me. I'll sing for you and play for you a dulcet melody. Hey, Nellie, ho, Nellie, listen, love, to me. I'll sing for you and play for you a dulcet melody. Nellie Bly has a voice like a turtle dove. I hear it in the meadow and I hear it in the grove. Nellie Bly's heart's as warm as a cup of tea and bigger than the sweet potatoes down in Tennessee. Hey, Nellie, ho, Nellie, listen, love, to me. I'll sing for you and play for you a dulcet melody. Hey, Nellie, ho, Nellie, listen, love, to me. I'll sing for you and play for you a dulcet melody.
We present these Governor's Awards in the Humanities to you in recognition of your vision that gave birth to the Institute of Continuing Learning at Young Harris College and your lifelong labors that have sustained this and many other educational and cultural outreach programs.